Back in 2021, I documented 100 row homes across Philadelphia, and last year, I became a homeowner. I posted this reel on Instagram about a month ago, and I got an interesting comment. And that's how I met my new friend Max.
What's up, Max?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good to see you, man.
He owns a company called Paragon Exteriors, and once I saw some of his projects, I knew that my small roof would be no problem for him. I guess the question now is, where do we start?
For a roof this old, you really want to get some of that weight off the roof. We're just going to take off all of the cedar and we're going to put down brand new CDX plywood.
My original plan for redoing the old roof was just to put another layer of torch down on top of many layers from the past 175 years. I'm so glad Paragon came along because tearing all this out and doing new plywood is really the right way to do it, to do a new shingle roof. With the roof all open, it was also a great time to add this metal strapping that helps hold the rafters to the ridge beam. Now that the roof deck's ready, it's time for Roofing 101 with your host, Max, from Paragon Exteriors.
The first layer going up there is something called ice and water barrier. At Paragon, we actually do a full perimeter of ice and water barrier on the eaves. We do 1.5 foot on all of the rakes, and then we also put this in your valleys, around chimneys, around skylights. We're up in the Northeast. This really protects against ice damming, getting those icicles and a lot of that ice buildup along the eaves. This is gonna be a self-adhering, basically peel and stick product. Once you put this onto the deck, it's not going anywhere, and this is gonna be that first layer that protects against any leaking on the eaves. The second layer is going to be your underlayment. Several different materials that you can use. The one that most people know, this is called felt paper, tar paper. This is really, a product of the past. You can rip this, you can tear it. It's not very durable. Companies are using synthetic nowadays, which is great. It's going to last longer. This is called felt buster. This is just the entry level. We take it a step further and we use something called tiger paw. And the benefit of this over like a felt buster is tiger paw has semi-permeability, so any moisture that does get behind the shingles has a way to escape. During this process, we're also gonna have guys going around, we're gonna do drip edge. So this is gonna go on your eaves and all of your rakes. What it does is it helps divert water away from the home. So something specific for this project that we don't always do is we had to build basically custom walls on the exterior of the roof here. And a very crucial piece of those walls is you have to have proper step flashing up there. The flashing is going to be the most important aspect that's going to keep that water diverted away from the neighbor's home and going where it needs to go. The next piece, when we finally start getting into shingles, the first layer of shingle is actually going to be what's called your starter shingle. The reason that we do it on the rakes as well is because with GAF, you get an unlimited wind warranty. Nail in along the edge here, and then you have a line of adhesive, and that's what's going to match up with the full asphalt architectural shingle. You have adhesive on the back of this, especially in the Northeast, we get everything. We get heavy winds, we get heavy rains, we get ice, we get snow, we get hot, we get cold, we get everything. So we try to do this and make sure that this roof is going to be as secure as possible. You need to have proper airflow in your attic to make sure that you're not containing moisture, not growing mold. So ventilation is super important. The ridge vent that we use, this is called a snow country ridge vent. This is going to bend over the top, comes in 4-foot rolls, and this piece actually gets hand nailed into place. All of that hot air and any moisture is going to come through the bottom and exhale out of these side vents here. This lip will catch the wind as it runs off the roof, bounce off backwards a bit and create somewhat of a vortex and help pull air out of the attic. The very last piece, this is going to be a rubber infused hip and ridge shingle.
These mock-up demonstrations have a way of making everything look easy, but on a small site, that's not the case. We had a whole production out front of the house, and we may have been blocking the sidewalk, so the neighbor called, inspector came, he said, "You can't have any of this stuff out here, so just move the ladder to the backyard and keep moving forward." In the meantime, we got to start on my favorite part, getting these skylights in. These skylights have a specific flashing kit, so I was up there just watching the whole process, making sure it went smoothly, and trying to give myself some peace of mind that they won't leak in the future, but we'll see. extra to get the manually operated venting skylights, and I'm really excited about the possibility of natural ventilation. The air can come from the first floor all the way up this big open light well and exhaust through the roof. And it takes advantage of the stack effect where the air up here is going to be really hot and it's going to rise, and then it's going to pull all the air from down below. To operate these skylights, I got this big rod. It's opening. It's opening. With that, our roof system is all complete, and it's not going to be raining inside my house anymore. Now it's time for a trip out to the suburbs to take a look at some other roofs. Man, I can't even imagine having this much space.
A huge part and a huge factor of building a company like Paragon is we have such an incredible team around us. I have to give a major shout out to my partners, Jimmy, Val, we have Itai and Nir. All of us work together on pretty much everything. We're bouncing ideas, and that's really what I would say is one of the most important parts of building Paragon the way that we did, is just starting with a very solid core, a very solid team, and building off of that we want to be able to help people. We want to offer a quality product. We don't want to just be, the lowest price contractor that's just going to put up a roof, say good luck, see you later. Work with integrity, we build with quality. We're there before, during, and after, and having that team, I gotta say, that's honestly one of the most important aspects of the company. This was one of our projects we just finished up last week, and a lot of people ask us, how long is it gonna take to do a roof of this size? We got this done in one day. Now for this home specifically, we are also gonna do their siding, doing hardy board, brand new gutters, downspouts. My partner Val, he sold a roof to an 80-year-old couple with active leaks. They literally have buckets of water in their sunroom. They had another bucket of water in their family room. They were on a fixed income, they're 80 years old, and they were having a very difficult time getting financing for the roof. We came in and we gave them a very good deal on the roof. That's really somewhere that we try to stand out, and we're humans at the same time as well. We like to help people, give them that peace of mind where when you're in your home, the last thing you want to have to think about is water dripping in on your head, or is another leak going to start somewhere else. And if we ever see an opportunity where we can step in and help another human being out, we're always going to take advantage of that. Paragon, our office is located in Bensalem. We service basically surrounding Philadelphia areas. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy. We do free estimates. We do free roof inspections. Same thing with siding as well. If you guys need any help, we'd be more than happy to hop on a call, discuss your project, and see if we'd be the right company for you.
Huge shout out to Paragon for their help with my roof. And if you're in need of a roof or siding, you can find their information in the description below. It's a bright and sunny Monday morning, and we actually have some insulation to put in. I got one test piece in there already, but this is a soffit up on the third floor. The bedroom kind of overhangs a little bit. We need to insulate this floor, and we're not actually at the insulation phase because we don't have electric yet, but we have to do this because tomorrow the siding guy's coming and he's doing the siding and the soffits and the gutters. And I want to give a shout out to a subscriber, Kim, who earlier drove to the city from an hour out or so to help me out with a Home Depot run. I got this special knife to cut insulation, and it basically is just a serrated kitchen knife. So I could have just borrowed one of those from home, but whatever. Wow, we got insulation. I'm kind of excited to tackle all the insulation once our electric is done and once our inspection is passed, but for now that's one soffit. Nice. Let's take a look now at the second soffit we got to do here. And here it is. This one's a little bit bigger, and these are 2x12s, so the insulation is deeper. I think it's an R38. And we're also going to need to install a piece of fire-rated gyp on top of all of this once the insulation is in. There's also a little detail back here. You can see some plumbing. That's the drain to the bathtub. So we got to insulate around that thing. I tried my best to do a special cutout for the drain line in this piece. It's going to be challenging to get in there though. There you have it. One more. Another pre-siding task is to make sure I have this foam gasket to separate any wood from any brick to make sure moisture isn't wicked into the wood. That causes rot and stuff. We mostly installed this while we were framing, but there were a couple spots we missed that I had to go back to. Here we are Tuesday morning, and we're ready for the siding. I've been just doing a little bit of exploration here, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. And the first step, I was just chipping off any plaster that was like ready to fall down. I'm really not too sure how to do the kind of furring and insulation because I know there's gonna be some moisture because the bricks from the outside wick in the rainwater. Sometimes when they get really wet, that moisture comes all the way to the interior side and it dries out on the interior side. So if I do furring and insulation, then you have all this moisture that's kind of trapped in a little cavity. But then can I ventilate that cavity? Is that possible? I don't know. Also, as I've mentioned, I want to redo this area in a year or two and add the big door and whatnot. So like, I'm not really too concerned about it. If I need to rip it all out and figure out a better way, that's fine. So let's just get into it. I also have no idea how this is really constructed. I'm taking off this drywall and there's like a mesh behind it, and then I know the stucco is embedded in a wire mesh, but I don't know what this mesh is, so it's all just wrong over here. A couple weeks ago I said I kind of wanted to just keep this as is, but man, once you start ripping apart, it's like termites paradise. Water gets in through the roof and through the stucco. It's all wet and there's like 2 layers of drywall, layer of wood, another layer of wood, several layers of siding. It's just like, it's no good. Oh no, found more active termites. Another good reason to tear this down. That's so gross. To everyone who commented originally to tear this down, you're right, and I will. And there shouldn't be active termites because we got it treated, so I gotta circle back about that. Here's some of our beautiful hardy and gutters and other siding materials. We're getting the rest of it loaded up in the alley here. I'm always terrified of loading up this floor too much. Like, we have that whole material delivery, it's like hundreds of pounds on the floor. So trying to avoid that, spreading it out. I just realized kind of late in the game that we need to mark out our penetrations on this wall so we can do blocking on the exterior where that penetration happens. I gotta lay out the kitchen to figure out where the vent hood is going to vent from. I haven't seen the progress out here, so I'm curious. And all right. Looks like we got our window trimmed. We got all our windows installed, which is really exciting. You can see they got them trimmed all the way up. They're ready to start running the hardy. There's a couple notes so far about working with these siding guys. And for reference, the guys that really know what they're doing, their quote was like $25,000, and these guys, it was $10,000. So there's a big difference in quality, but also I have contractor friends that have used these guys plenty of times and are happy with their work. So the thing I'm happy about is this metal trim. Let me get you closer to it. So all this flashing, I'm just really impressed with how clean it is, all the way up to the soffit, and there's like a channel that holds the soffit there. It's really nice, very cool. There's one area down here. Let me know. I would appreciate your suggestions. For whatever reason, the concrete form stopped here and I didn't catch it. So now I have this little gap where you can actually see back here. You can't really see it. I got the sill seal stuff in to protect from moisture, but this is like the rim board and sill plate right in there. So how should I seal this? So one thing I just realized that could be a problem and is kind of my fault. That soffit there, last time I saw it, it was just open bays and insulation. And if they put a vented soffit on top of that, that's a problem because air just gets into that insulation and you get moisture problems. We really need to cap that with plywood, then tape the edges for air sealing, and then do a soffit below that. So that could be a problem. I don't know how hard that's going to be to redo. I was really not happy with the window flashing. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos on how it should be done. This is not that. There's a couple notes that I wasn't happy about. I'm gonna run through these quickly. First is sloped windowsills. They did not do this, and I asked them to. That's a last resort. If moisture does get into the window cavity, then it drains out. The next thing on the corners, they just used a regular flashing tape when it's much better to use a flexible tape that can wrap around the corners properly. Next, with the house wrap, it's supposed to be kind of shingled with the drip cap at the top of the window, and here they just wrapped that house wrap inside. All that stuff is relatively minor, not great, but I think the windows will still hold. This, on the other hand, was pretty bad. They put this trim up, but I had a feeling they didn't put flashing tape on the window flange. And yeah, you can see it's just not here. So any water that were to get above that window would have gotten behind the flange and into the house. So not great. I do wish I could have done the flashing myself, but it would have cost an extra $1,000 to do it myself, just with the logistics. It's better to let them do it and I can live with it. But credit where it's due, the actual siding install, I think they did a pretty great job. While the siding was going up, some exciting news, we got our first package from Kohler. This is the tub. We're still waiting on the shower pan to be able to finish rough-in plumbing, but really exciting to start getting these fixtures in, and I'm really excited to talk about the selections I've made with Kohler. For reasons I don't quite understand, I made it a personal challenge to try to get this tub to the second floor alone. Really should have just asked for help. I hate to say it, but I was unsuccessful. I just got stuck like this until the siding guy noticed me and gave me a hand. Thank you. There we go. I'll admit, yesterday I was kind of lazy with my own projects and I ended up just kind of watching the siding process. Nothing wrong with that, but today I want to get things done. When we get to electrical, we're going to need a lot of stuff. I've decided to fur out walls, and the main reason, one, you get a clean finish with drywall. 2, you have a chase to run electrical and mechanical. 3, you have the added option of adding insulation. And I also like the idea of deeper window sills here, and also the top of the window is right against the ceiling, which is just kind of not a great detail. And if I fur out a wall, the intersection point with the ceiling will be higher and there will be room for more proper trim. So first step, we got to clear out all this stuff. Alright, we're cruising here, making a little bit of progress, and it's turning out pretty good. Had to do a little shim, don't worry about that, to level out the sill. And I like all the little decisions you have to make along the way. I quite enjoy the process of framing. Where should this opening be? Where should this sill be? But the main concern is I just want to make sure there's a lot of room to replace this window. The top plate gets a little harder because here we have kind of something to nail it to get the top plate flat, and here it's on an angle, so we'll figure it out. Just like that, it's done. That's a wrap for work this week. Just a quick update here. This past weekend, I was in Phoenix for an opening reception of a High Rises exhibition featuring my artwork and the books. This is going to be open all of May. You can find the info down in the description if you want to check out the work. With that, thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you next week.